dating someone with an avoidant attachment style, that means that they oscillate between this deep, warm intimacy and then retreating from that intimacy completely, like just withdrawing, and it's like cold or you don't hear from them. It's kind of like whiplash. Like there'll be moments where they just don't text back and you really want to hear from them. You want to hang out, but they're just nowhere to be found, or emotionally they're just vacant. They're gone, and you're thinking like, what happened? Are you okay? Are we okay? Like, did I offend you in some way? But you have to keep in mind, for someone with an avoidant attachment style, this closeness that you're experiencing, the closeness is the trigger. Like when you experience betrayal or neglect as a kid, it's like, you have all these hopes and anticipation for this warm connection, maybe with a parent, but then those hopes are shattered and you're left to pick up the emotional pieces of that alone. So then you learn the lesson emotionally that when you're hopeful about this intimacy, this warmth, that's a signal that you're probably going to get let down. And so then you learn the lesson. It's avoid rejection, avoid, let down. You have to avoid intimacy, and it can feel like a huge challenge in the relationship because you have an experience of that too. It's like you can endure that for a while, but it starts to feel lonely, and you start to feel like, well, what can I do here? Like, is this just the relationship? Like, how can I fix this? And you can't. The best thing you can do actually is to set some boundaries. I know that feels counterintuitive, but the reality is that they aren't handling the trust and love that you're extending to them well. And your reality matters too. And you might think, well, they're traumatized, they can't help it. And it's like, okay, well, here's the thing. If someone was being violent towards you, would you not set a boundary because it's based in trauma? There's all sorts of dysfunctional behaviors that are based, at least to a degree, in trauma. Like, that doesn't mean that setting a boundary is a bad or mean thing. It might actually be the loving thing to do, because when they withdraw from you, that's not helping either of you. So, and here's the thing, I'm not saying this is like a punishment or something. I'm not saying you need to ghost them. It'd actually be good if you were really explicit, like if you could communicate this, like that I feel a lot of sadness when you retreat, and I'm not trying to shame you, I'm not trying to blame you for anything, I'm just saying that, like, I care about you, and I want to extend trust in a setting that feels really safe, and the setting that feels safest to me is actually couples counseling. And you have a choice here. You can step into this with me, or you can leave, but the reality is it's not healthy for either of us when one of us is constantly feeling abandoned.